Okay, once you log into Star Citizen, preferably after creating your account with my referral code, you'll end up on this screen. You want to go ahead and click Persistent Universe. Now the first time you log in, this is going to kick you into the character creation screen. Select male or female. And they have a weird system they're testing out. I don't like it, but maybe you will. You first pick a head as a starting point, and then you merge it with somebody else's head through this slider. And you can do that via different, also once you do that, you can also change the cheeks or whatever from different faces. However, right now you just want to go ahead and get through as quickly as you can and click accept. Yes, if you want to save your changes to your character, you can always come back every time you log in and go back to this screen, so nothing you do here is permanent. So to go ahead and click save. Now it's going to give you to this screen where it asks you where you want to go in the persistent universe. You want to select system, the Stanton system. The Stanton system is the only solar system which is currently in their test version of the game. Then for location, you want to select New Babbage. This is the most recent planet that they've created, and it's also the one with the fewest bugs, easiest to navigate and such. It's also where the free fly event military expo is going to take place at the convention center. So after you finish that, you want to go down here and click Visit Location. Every time you log in after this, you'll either end up here or whichever planet you went to during your last session. And once you click this, it's going to take a couple of minutes, and if the servers are overtaxed, several minutes before you get to the next screen. So I'll go ahead and click that, and I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, whenever you log into Star Citizen after you've created your character, you will end up you'll start out in a bed like this one. And this is New Babbage apartment. It's got a little window next to your bed. To get out of the bed, or a seat, or a turret, or any other control console that you seem to be stuck in, press the Y key on your keyboard. That's the default. Now, this is your standard apartment. Nothing's interactable in this version of the test. There's the window showing the city. Control key crouches, gives you a little slightly better view. Now if you want to see what you yourself look like now, press F4 on your keyboard. And to swing the point of view around, press and hold the Z key, and then move the mouse around. Now this is not the character we created on the previous screen. This is after a database wipe, and I didn't remember what it looked like in the last test. Press F4 again for another third-person view, and F4 a third time to go into first-person view. They want to design the game so that you can do everything in first-person view. Actually, sometimes it seems to be a better experience. Let's head to the door. The standard key for interacting with controls or objects is press and hold the F key on your keyboard. Anything within the range gets highlighted with a little note saying what it will do. While you're pressing and holding this, click with your mouse, and the door opens. And now we're on the balcony of the apartment complex. That's the spaceport that we can fly in and out of the planet from. And if we head over towards the elevators, you can see the rest of the city here. Most of the city you can fly to the exterior, but you cannot enter yet. Oh, by the way, to control your speed when you're moving, just use the mouse wheel. Scroll forward for faster, backwards for slowing down. Let's go to the elevator. Press and hold F. Call the elevator. Oh, you need to worry about floor you're on. The apartments are currently just a spawn point. Every time you log in, you'll be at a different floor, a different apartment. Press and hold F, and we've got to the lobby. There's no elevator music yet in the game, which is unfortunate. And here's the lobby. Nice holographic logo over the desk. Pretty sculpture. Ooh, ah. We're going to go out of the lobby. See a nice little skylight. ceiling. Sometimes you can see the space station up there, depending upon what the lighting conditions are like. But I don't see it at the moment. Or do I? Oh, there it is. You can barely see it there. Okay, we're going to go downstairs to the metro. A lot of the metros and other areas in the game, they make you little loopbacks like this. Standard video game thing to reduce the draw distances. And follow the signs to the Invictus launch suite. There's a map of the current metro line. There's each tram arriving in 64 seconds. There's a player with one of the collectible helmets. Tram timers are usually fairly accurate if the servers are healthy. If they're getting overloaded or about to crash, they can sometimes get desynced. It is possible to take off your helmets and spacesuits and run around civilian clothes. I'm not going to show you how to do that here because you really don't need it when you're first starting out. If you forget to put your helmet and spacesuit back on and happen to go into space, you don't last very long. Also, some important information
Capsule
is
now approaching
projected on
station.
your helmet.
Stand clear of disembarking passengers.
And there you see the tram arrived a couple seconds before the timer. There are new babbage. The trams are much more modern than the other landing zones that are currently in the game. They have much more, shall we say, dated-looking trams. This plant is controlled by Microtech, major mega corporation, and they like their main city to be very, very futuristic-looking, as you can see. Partially failed terraforming. It came out too cold.
Ladies and gentlemen, special treatment.
We'll begin the broadcast up on our helmet display there.
Posted as it gets closer in case you'd like to check it out.
Apparently the Bengal carriers arrived at the space station. We're heading here at the first metro stop to the Fleet Week display. A big naval exposition. It's the United Earth Empire color scheme. During the civilian expo later in the year, they have it here. It's going to be a completely different color scheme. And there's shops over on each side where you can buy leather jackets, t-shirts, hats, etc. But we're going to go down the elevator to the actual expo hall. Hopefully it's open this time. Last time I was here, this being the test server, it still wasn't open. And today is Crusader. Every couple of days during the week-long expo, there's going to be different manufacturers on display, but only ships and vehicles that are in use by the United Earth Empire military forces.
Get an inside look at some of your favorite manufacturers' ships. Check the daily schedule for directions.
That's new. I wasn't here
Please
last
consult
year.
our maps to take advantage of all the exhibits this year's Invictus has to offer. Be sure to check back every day to see the full lineup of ships and technology now available.
You can take the stairs or run up the highly polished stone floor. Looks like a safety issue to me. Today, all the ships are manufactured by Crusader or Tumbler Industries or Mercury Star Runner. And there you see some big ships. There is a map showing you what's available on each floor. There's some stuff down the lower level, and there's 3 display halls. And off to the side, I see some ship components available as well to look at. Now, if you want to try and fly one of these ships, just get in underneath it, look up at it, press and hold F, and you can rent it for 0 credits. So next time I go to the spaceport, I'll be able to call one of these. We'll do that a little bit later. This is also the Moby glass interface. They use this for almost all interactions that aren't on a special control panel like those elevators were. Get your equipment manager, you can look at your armor, etc., contract manager, etc. But for now, we're just going to press F1 to close it. F1 also brings it back up again. It's a big ship. Let's go take inside, just give a look at what this thing is, in case I get to the spaceport and I can't actually get it to work. This is the test server, and sometimes stuff doesn't work. Let's call the elevator. It's a big cargo ship that just recently introduced into the game, or in the process of introducing it. We're on the lower deck right now, which is cargo deck. We're going to go up to the top deck. And there you see some cargo, containers, etc. There's a recreation room. It's got a small crew, but they've got, you know, big screen TV, kitchenette, dining area, some library. And here you see somebody's opened up one of the component lockers. You can actually swap out the ship's components, and in the future we'll actually be able to repair them if they're damaged. There's a habitation module, individual storage lockers. You can put spacesuits in these, beds. And since it's a large ship, if this was actually armored, actually we could lie down in the bed and actually log out if this was our ship and we were in space. That way, if you're halfway between planets and you need to log out for the day, you don't have to go back to a spaceport to log out. The next time you log in, you'll be in bed in the ship where it was when you logged out. We're going to head up to the cockpit. Way at the nose of this ship. Again, press F and enter pilot seat. And then press F again if you want to look around. Just turn your head. See, this ship doesn't have great view. However, you can go to a third-person view in a ship, which is handy if you're trying to maneuver around a tight area. So press and hold Z, and I can swing the camera around. And if you're trying to land in a vertical hangar, going through a roof hatch, this view is particularly handy. To get out of the seat, press Y. And press Y again. Sometimes it takes a couple of tries, which I find very annoying. There it goes, right. A couple more things here in this particular day of the expo. There's also a ladder you can take. I have bad luck with ladders in video games, though. So I'm going to stick with elevator. And we're going to go all the way out. Not all ship elevators go all the way to the surface, but this one does, which is very handy. Here's stairway down to another exhibit hall, which just has a few smaller things in it. Here, we have ships made by Crusader. Big exhibit hall. Okay, the lighting's weird. Those guys have glow in the dark here. It's a slightly smaller ship, but it's very multi-purpose. It's more than just a cargo hauler. And they have descriptions on these little nameplates telling you what they're for. And see, this ship actually has manned turrets you can get into once you're inside. For now, let's head back to the... Might as well try and rent one of these as we're at here too. Okay, now I'm going to head to show you how to get to the spaceport from here. And grab one of those that big ship I just rented, see if I can get out of the hangar bay without crashing. The guys with the glowing hair haven't moved. I think the server is not happy with those NPCs. As you go around from one planet to another, you'll notice that each planet tends to have different predominant dress code. They're planning on having hundreds of planets when the game finally launches. There's a lot of people making lots of NPC and civilian player clothes.
The Navy would like to thank our private and corporate partners for making this year's Invictus the best yet. The UEE Navy, united
I
in
have
purpose.
no idea what happened to that guy.
Hello and welcome to the 2951 Invictus Expo Hall.
This is the test server, not the
Invictus
actual
launch
persistent
not only
universe
marks the
server. And some
graduation of the
players
latest
are
class
doing
of
some
starmen
strange
and
tests that
pilots
I don't want
service
to know.
into the UEE Navy. Signifies the date that new recruits all over the Empire.
Back to the lobby. Oh. That's some weird graphical glitches there on the elevator. Oh! Okay, well I guess this test has ended. Check back next time when we go from the apartment to the spaceport. Okay, we're back in the apartment after dying for no apparent reason by some glitch at the convention center. There is still 2 or 3 patches before this makes it to the live server, so hopefully that'll be fixed before you get your hands on it. Press and hold F so we can click on the door to open it. And we're going to head out to the spaceport and try and fly that ship that I rented earlier. That is the biggest ship I've ever attempted to fly, so we may end up crashing and burning. But that'll be entertaining. And go back down to the lobby again. Everything on Microtech is nice and clean and well maintained. If you go to the other two plants, they have spaceports on currently, which is Hurston and Plant ArcCorp. They are much messier, especially Plant Hurston. That place is a dive. Down the stairs. Now we could go down this line directly to the spaceport, but I want to go this route so I can show you how to get to the spaceport from the convention center. And there again is the map. Spire Grande, which we are, to the expo center, the Commons, which is a mall, and then out to the spaceport. Do not sit on the chairs in the trams. They're currently bugged and really can't get out easily. There's the apartment building we just came out of, and yes, you can fly small ships through that gap in the middle. But this one's flying a ship above the apartment building at the moment. Next stop is not announced. They are a little bit buggy at the moment. The next stop is the Commons. This is the convention center. We do not want to get off here. This is where we just got, where we died trying to leave the convention center earlier.
Careful, doors are now closing.
Oh, and if we're up at the space station at the moment, we can actually have a tour of the Javelin. Try and grab that later. Bagging carriers flying around the space station also. That's 990 meters long. Okay, this purple stop is the mall. You can buy equipment here, you can buy food, you can buy clothing. There's even a bar you could go to. But we're not going to go there right now. We're going to continue on to the mall. Or to the spaceport. And there you can see fireworks going off above the convention center. Whenever you see the fireworks, that means that there's a ship tour up on the space station, and there's probably a Bengal carrier flying around as well. Here you can see the frozen lake. This plant is cold as hell. If you go outside without a special environmental suit, you will slowly freeze to death. But it'll take half hour to an hour, so you can... This will be taking off. It'll take a while, so you can go out and play around with a ground vehicle if you have one. Unfortunately, the only cold weather suits that are available currently in game are sold at the space station, so you can't just go to the mall and pick one up. Which I find annoying. The green stop is the spaceport on this line. All the signs to the exit. And they make us do a lot of zigzagging. Also, since we're so far down, we have to take the elevator to get up to the actual main spaceport. Microtech likes to have a lot of plants around to try and, make up to the employees the fact that it's dangerous to go outside. We want to go up to the new Babbage, Interstellar Spaceport Terminal. Again, more plants. And if you come in from another planet, they have signs telling you how to get to the expo center. We'll zigzag around through the security center, past the purity special guards and the scanners. And if you were to fly into New Babbage, this is your first view of the city itself. And you see the sun starting to set. And at night you can really see the city light up. If you see the fireworks, press and hold F and use your scroll wheel, you can zoom in. Which is their way of sort of like saying that you focused in on something.
For the latest updates on ship availability and gate assignments, please use one of the
This
conveniently
is the main
located
terminal. You can buy a stuffed penguin, you can buy food. If you have cash on hand, you can actually rent a few types of ships here as well, in addition to the free ones we
From
got
all
at the
of us at
Expo Center.
Microtech, welcome to the New Babbage Interstellar Spaceport.
If you rent a ground vehicle like we did earlier, you go up to these terminals, rent them, and then take these elevators down to the garages.
Microtech.
At the end of the convention center, Drake Interplanetary is going to have a showing of their ships here. Since the United Earth Empire Navy does not currently fly any Drake vessels, they are not allowed to participate in the main fleet activities.
From the best in shopping, dining, and entertainment. Be sure to visit New Babbage's
Here are the hangars, and we should be able to call up that Hercules that we rented earlier. There it is for another 47 hours.
Why not rest at the Nest's newly renovated accommodations?
You see I've got a lot of ships to play with, but we're going to try and get the one that I rented earlier. And it's in Hangar 20. Well, they go up to that high a number. They must have a lot of players in today on this test server.
Be sure to explore.
Just walk
all
away
New
when you're
Babbage has to
done.
offer. Whether it's
Bring
the
your
latest
number.
in cutting-edge technology,
Oh, there you see.
or the beauty of our award-winning
My
garden.
ship is
The city of tomorrow
2
has a lot
kilometers
going on
away
today.
that direction, in Hangar 20. I'm going to call one of many elevators here. These are like Star Trek elevators. Any elevator can go to any location on its particular route. Scroll all the way down to 20. And there you can see we're zooming around, getting close to it. And that's a big effing ship. And no, those doors don't look wide enough for this ship. This could get interesting. These little markers allow you to call up and actually try and open various components from the ground. We're going to use the elevator. Going to go to the top deck. So we're going to go past the big cargo hold. Why they have so many doors heading up to this cockpit. Some of these ships are actually going to be in the single-player version of the game called Squadron 42. It's possible that they want to have multiple doors for some sort of boarding action. Okay, now I currently have head tracking turned on my machine. So I'm in a cockpit. Anytime I turn my head, it automatically moves around. I'm going to press R on my keyboard to make this flight ready.
Crusader Industries, a journey worth taking. Systems on.
I'm going to use my Moby glass, pull up my comm link, where the hell it is. Here it is. Friends list, and currently only friend I have is the spaceport traffic control.
You are clear to launch.
Press F1 to close that. Now supposedly the doors are opening above me. I'm going to go to the third person view. And yeah, I saw the doors are opening. Okay. Up thrust. Back to cockpit view. Thrust. Landing gear up. Check. We're still in, there we go. Now we're out of VTOL mode. Let's nose down a bit.
Thank you. And please visit again.
And there you can see the radar in the center showing different contacts near me. I'm going to fly by that guy. And let's make a sharp turn to avoid him completely. Ooh, I haven't been here at sunset in a while. I forgot how pretty it was. The clouds are very primitive. The next couple of releases, they're going to redo their cloud tech, make them more three-dimensional. There you can see the convention center. The different other markers on my HUD are probably people on rented vehicles. It's giving me a warning for restricted area, but we can actually fly between the buildings if we wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pull the nose up and take it into space. Yeah, I do not like the limited view out of this thing. It looks neat from the outside, but when you're trying to fly into space, it's a bitch. I assume landing is going to also be a bitch if I don't go to third-person view. And every time I take my head off to the side, I accidentally start rolling it. Up to 8,500 meters. On most of the planets with atmospheres, you have to get to about above 10,000 before you can actually start using your space thrusters. And there's we're leaving the restricted area. So we should be what the game considers to be outer space. The planets are actually all spheres, but they're like 1/10 scale. Down. There are areas on Planet Microtech that actually have green forests, even meadows. Let's see whether I can find space station. Activating my, or spooling up my quantum drive, see if I can get a marker for it. Ah, there it is. Port Tressler is the nearest space station to Babbage. Once it fully calibrates, we'll press and hold the B key to activate the
quantum travel.
quantum jump. That was just a short jump. And that is the nearest space station, which, if you learn to fly, that might be the easiest way to base yourself out of if you get somebody to fly up there, because you don't have to worry about atmosphere. You don't have to worry about crashing into the surface. And it's a couple kilometers across. And there should be... Actually, it was 2 minutes when we were in the tram, so the Navy's probably departed. During the Fleet Week, they have a squadron of ships flying around. Let's see if I can find a spot to land this thing. Of course, since I'm not too familiar with this ship, I'm going in kind of slow. And I tell you what, let's just cut this video here, and we'll pick up again when I've either crashed or got a more maneuverable ship to land on this thing. Oh, before I do that, though, let's go down and look at the planet one more time. Planets are beautiful, and they're only going to get more beautiful in the future. Okay, signing off, and we'll pick up again later. Okay, I did eventually get that big freighter parked the other night, but it took a long time. So this time I'm going to go in with a slightly faster ship. So hopefully it won't take me 20 minutes to actually dock this sucker. That's way too much speed. And when I get close, ATC is going to contact me, or I'm going to get a prompt rather to contact ATC, and they'll assign me a landing pad. In other words, I'm coming from behind. The sun is off to my right, so it's a little bit shadow. But there's plenty of advertising lights. Okay, there's the prompt. It says contact ATC. I can press F1 and pull up my comm or my Moby glass, or I can just press F11 to go straight to the communications panel.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Okay, that's the one there with the little circle with the down arrow is my pad. Turn on the landing lights. Just so if I start coming up on something, I might be able to see it in time to stop. And my joystick is not working properly at the moment. It's going to be a bitch. Lost nose control. On my joystick. I hate when that happens. How big this sucker is. And my head-up display is showing me lots of stuff that is not really pertinent at the moment to me. future release is going to allow us to filter those out. Just drop the landing gear.
Landing gear deployed.
Fortunately, my other thrusters are still working. Slide sideways. Yeah, without my helmet on, I would not see that holographic display, which would be a pain. Thrust. Ease it down.
Landing complete.
Okay, turn off the engines.
Doesn't say.
Pull up my Moby glass, go down to the vehicle maintenance. Use a little bit of fuel. And wear and tear is accelerated during this test phase. Normally I wouldn't have to repair anything after that short period of time. Let's turn off my landing lights. And let's see, where's the power down key? Hold on a second. That's fully power off.
Systems offline.
It's a much smaller ship than the other one. This stuff isn't fully implemented yet. It does have a bed you can log out in, though. And it has a small cargo hold, much smaller than the other one. Ramp. And raise the ramp just in case anybody's going to be coming out. Idea just how big this thing is. Only small portions of the interior are actually accessible at this time, but they have plenty of room to add stuff later. Oh, that's not good. There's no elevator there. Now there is. Maybe. I'm on the test server again, so not everything works. Go up to the lobby. You notice there's some others elevator stops. The two security ports there are where the Javelin destroyer is parked, sometimes during Fleet Week. And you can go, when it's there, you can go on a tour inside, and the NPCs describe different sections to you. Now you don't have to do this, but I like to clear the pad if I'm not going to use the ship anytime soon. So I go to store, and it's stored. So it actually is despawned now, and that pad is available for somebody else. This is the main lobby. You see the planet below, portions of the space station itself. And it has a small food court. Another apartment complex over there, the Easy Halves, though. They're really, really tiny. It's like Japanese capsule hotels almost. These elevators take you to other portions of the station that they've built in so far. And see, this one has the Galleria, which is a shopping mall, cargo center where you can buy special equipment. That's also where you can purchase the special cold weather environmental suits. and then hangars and hats, which we'll go back to here. Now since I got permission to land here, if I log out now, I'll end up in that apartment building next time I log in. Like I said, when the Fleet Week is active at Plant Microtech, there will be a ship you can tour down at the security tabs. I'm going to run down there real quick. Security port A, security port B, or security port C. One of these three, and the signs will tell you which one. Now, in this particular station, it's a couple kilometers below the main saucer section that we were in. So it takes a while for the elevator to get there. Now, if you would take advantage of the free fly event and want to come up here and look at this, but have trouble flying the ship out of the hangar or navigating up into space, just send me an email and we can arrange a time. My schedule is pretty open for the next, for the full week of the free fly. Looks like there's something out there, but I don't think it's in there yet. Yeah, this is a long docking port that extends out when the ship is here. Not sure what we're looking at out there, but it is not the Javelin. Anywho, that's the very, very basics of Fleet Week and the free fly event. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I didn't spend too much time boring the hell out of you, because I have no idea how long this video is going to be when I clip everything together. Talk to you later, and fly safe.